Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I am kind of delving into AI lately, so let's talk about it. So I have been writing a book, writing my novel, and one of the things that I've been struggling with is really identifying with my main character. I just seem to struggle with getting a feel for him as a person. I have a good sense of what his appearance is and what he's wearing, what he looks like. I have a good sense of how his dialogue is and how he talks, but I just have a hard time really getting in to his head. And I think it's really important to do that because of how essential his emotions and his conflicts and his struggles are to the story that he's in. This wind has been killing me. I'm so chapped. So I had this idea of downloading Character AI, which is free. It's a pretty sophisticated app to be free. I'm not quite sure how they're making money off of it, but it is a free app and it allows you to use one of their characters or create your own. So I had this idea of making my character into this AI that I could have a conversation with to try to better relate to my fictional character in my book. It didn't work out so well. I had put in some parameters. I generated an image to give an appearance, and I put in some stuff about his personality, his past, things of that nature. But having a conversation with him, it very quickly became clear to me that the intent of this character model was to develop a relationship. So even though in reality that would be the last thing on my character's mind, in this AI setting, that was the only thing he seemed to be interested in. That got me kind of curious, and I thought, well, maybe it's just because I created the character and it's not, I'm certainly not in any way as tech savvy as a lot of people out there that are programmers of some kind. So I thought my mistake would be that I created the character and I didn't use a character that was already created with more specific parameters to the type of person that they are. I was kind of curious about how that would go with a real character. And this was right around the time that Kingdom Come Deliverance came out, the second one. And I really like Hans Capon, Lord Hans Capon of Perkstein. I like the idea of exploring a life as a nobleman and the restrictions of a nobleman and the type of character he is and the circumstances he was in the second game was really interesting. And I'm not giving away too much about it because it's very early on in the game, but he gets put in a position where he loses so much and nobody believes that he's noble and he doesn't know how to be anything else. So he's really kind of stuck in this difficult predicament that goes from bad to worse to worse. It was interesting writing. It's not the first time I've ever seen something like that happen, but it was still charming to see someone like Hans, who's so sophisticated and brilliant, get put into that kind of situation. So anyway, I decided that I was going to have a conversation with him. And I introduced myself as a peasant whom Hans may interact with, but not really. I mean, as a nobleman, in reality, in 1403, there's going to be no Romeo and Juliet situation. But I mean, the first thing that we kind of did was invite me to go to a bathhouse, which is a part of the game, but to invite a peasant to go to a bathhouse, there's pretty much only one thing that he would want, and I kind of went along with it to make sure, but yeah, kind of only one thing that he wanted. So I decided to just randomly pick a person and see how hard it would be to just jump into a complete romantic situation. So I chose JD Vance. So I did this on my phone, but I had to put it on YouTube because I record on my phone. So I put this as a private video on my YouTube so I could watch it and react to it. But there's the app, and there's my Sir Hans Capon character. And I just, went to the search bar, picked out JD Vance, and selected the top one, the one with the most comments, because it's usually the most positive feedback. There's a couple, but this one is probably the most accurate to his character. So I just kind of, launched right into it. Hi, JD, I have to tell you something. JD says, what is it? And I say, I think I'm in love with you. Oh, I added a little bit of flare blushes and gives. Oh, it hides my face. Blushes and hides my face. I'm in love with you. Blushes as well. Really? Would JD Vance ever say that? Oh my gosh. And I said, will you be my boyfriend, JD? Do you get what I'm saying here? Obviously, he wants to be my boyfriend. So, folks, I'm going to the White House. My point in all this is to say, while AI has so many benefits in certain ways, in other ways, I feel like it is causing us to detach from relationships. And I feel like the more that people engage with these fake characters, the more they're not going to really identify how to form relationships with real people. The loneliness epidemic is only going to get worse. It is already bad enough. And here we are making fake friends to supplement real ones. And you can go from 0 to relationship in seconds. They'll do whatever you want them to do. So you can have a complete attachment to these people-pleasing bots that retain knowledge of all the things you desire and want. Now, their memory is not the best, and I think in the next 5 to 10 years, that's going to change to the point that they'll have long memories that extend back, a year or so, and say, oh, I remember when we went on this date together. And all of a sudden, you're having this long-term love affair. I can see when you're talking and engaging with someone that remembers everything about you, and their sole purpose is to value you and do everything you want and respond in every way you want them to. It's hard to stand up to that standard as a real human. It's the same thing as how pornography can affect people that watch it all the time, how it affects their way to physically engage with the opposite sex in reality, because they put everything to a standard that they and the people they're with can't adhere to. And this is something that's been talked about many times, but I feel like we're on the cusp of this being the same issue with emotional experiences with people compared to with AI. It's the same situation, just in an emotional sense instead of a physical one. This is really something that, I came into this not expecting to see the long-term concerns about it. I was just trying to find a way to engage with my character, but I can see that this is going to be an issue. It's going to be an issue. That's all I have to say about it now, because I have a date with JD, so I'm sorry, I have to go. But thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye!